There was a video that popped up on Saturday that seemed to breathe life into this idea that Drew Brees, who has still not announced his retirement, even though it was expected weeks ago by the Saints, maybe he won't be retiring. A trainer posted this video to social media late last week. Take a look, have a listen, and ask yourself, does Drew Brees look like somebody who's just trying to get a little exercise in, or is he preparing for something more significant than just staying in shape?
I don't know where he's going. Let's go. Time is on. Go. Where are we going, Maui? Come on, Tim. To the black and back, Drew. To the black. The black, Drew. Drew, to the black. Drew. What is he doing? Drew. What is he doing?
He said to the street.
Drew. What are you doing? Okay, he's never done that. Hurry up! Don't know what he's doing. DB, come on, what? Oh my God. I'm not sure what he's doing. Never quite been done before. He needed a challenge. I said black and back. Woo-hoo-hoo. Time. That's a new record because it's never been done before.
Did you notice the something must be brewing?
Yes.
That was placed over the video.
Right.
And I can't figure out quite what it is that's never been done before. I've seen guys push sleds before for more than 50 seconds. So it all felt a little too hokey from the guy who was providing the narration. But still, Drew Brees not looking like a guy who is fading quietly into the night, Chris.
No, definitely. Well, and definitely not. I think what he was talking about.
If that's even him, I think that's him. The hair, for some reason, looked a little different to me. But if that, we have to be sure that was him. But we're 99.9% confident that it is.
You're on fire today, huh? I mean, what did you eat this morning? Okay,
nothing.
But either way. Well, I think first off, when he's talking about he's never done that before, he was supposed to stop where like the hill starts to go down and then turn around and come back. So he went above and beyond. But of course, yes, they obviously made the video and all the graphics after the video. So there was some intent there, something I don't know. But those exercises, I mean, they don't get any harder than that. Drew Brees, phenomenal athlete, all that. I don't think you're doing that type of exercise just to look good at the beach, in California later that day, just so you look good in your bathing suit or anything like that. That's a drill you do that you're going, I need to be explosive. I need to still be fast and twitchy and strong and have good endurance, which is all football-based stuff. So, I mean, I hear you, Mike. I'm with you. That to me sounds like a guy and looks like a guy that thinks he's still going to play football next year. And that's what's weird about it, because I didn't expect him to be trying to play football, and I don't think the Saints did either.
Is it possible that this entire narrative that Drew Brees is done after 2020 was hatched by the Saints in an effort to kind of speak it into existence, and that Brees never really intended and still doesn't intend to walk away? And if anything, the fact that he feels like he's being nudged is making him more determined to come back. Is that possible?
I 100% think that's the reason. I really do. A man like Drew Brees, everything we know about him to this point, I think he's going like, screw you, Sean Payton, anybody else, Mickey Loomis, whatever. I'm going to go out on my own terms. I do think he's probably was a little offended by maybe some of the cryptic language Sean Payton used before the season started last year. And then, of course, when Sean Payton was on the show with us saying all of those type of things. So that's where it's going to get dicey here. And they've already put themselves out in the limb already with Mickey Loomis's comment to say if Drew wants to come back, he's coming back. So now they're kind of boxed into a corner, and that's where I think it's going to get interesting, and I don't know where this exactly goes.
4 weeks ago Wednesday, Peyton told us that they expect an announcement within a week to a week and a half from Brees, and it was after their playoff-ending loss to the Buccaneers that Peyton was asked about Drew Brees retiring, and he said that's a topic for another press conference, which told us everything we needed to know. And that same day, Jay Glazer reported on Fox that Brees is done when the season's over. So, again, how much of this is Saints-driven? How much of it is Brees-driven? How much of it is Brees was intending to retire, Chris, but then he saw what older man Tom Brady did at 43, beating the Saints in the playoffs after the Saints swept the Buccaneers in the regular season, winning the Super Bowl. The team that the Saints beat 38-3 won the Super Bowl. How do you not, if you're Drew Brees, convince yourself that I have to try it again? I will regret it the rest of my life if I don't try it again, because I will always think in 2021 we could have gotten back to the top of the mountain. Well, I know that's how I would feel.
I know. Well, the problem is he's gonna feel like that after 2022, and then he's gonna feel like that after 2023. And first off, we don't know, where did the Jay Glazer report come from? We don't know where he got it from. If he didn't get it from Drew Brees, then Drew Brees is going to be pissed off about that too, to add to the list of the other things we've already mentioned. I think also, the Tom Brady point you make, I think probably puts a little fuel into that fire. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, as a ex-competitor, and I'm not trying to compare myself to Brady or Brees or anything like that, but I can certainly put myself in their shoes as far as that standpoint, and a guy that he's kind of competed against his whole career, college, NFL, and he sees him doing these type of things. But there's a big, big but. There is a big difference in Tom Brady at this point of his career compared to Drew Brees. Yes, Tom Brady at the end in New England, we still saw talent. We just went, he can't carry the team anymore. It's not that anymore. But as we saw, if you put talent around him, and you get him in the right circumstance, he can really be awesome still. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's the case with Drew Brees. I don't. There is issues in his game. There's major flaws, and it shows on their team, and especially in big games in the playoffs against better defenses and things like that. Let alone, let's not forget, they don't struggle when he's not there. All they do is win football games when he's not there. And we know, again, like we talked about a little last week, yes, his arm's never been one of the great arms ever, but his arm was always good enough to where he could scare you with the deep ball and certain throws. There's too many games now where it's forget the deep throws. It's can he consistently make 20-yard throws and scare defenses that way, and drive a ball into tight coverage, man-to-man coverage, and do that. Ooh, here's a window. Can he drive the ball into that window? Yeah, okay, maybe he can get away with it with the weak, the less than in the NFL as far as those defenses are concerned. But when it comes to the upper echelons of teams in football, a.k.a. the playoffs and those playoff defenses, we've seen those flaws kind of rise to the top. And that's where it's a whole different story to me, at least in my opinion, compared to Tom Brady at their points of their careers.
Yeah, look, I
don't know where this goes, Mike. I don't know. I mean, just my heart of heart says the Saints, like you said, were thinking about life after Drew, and let's move on, and let's do those things. And now, it seems like they fully expect it. I don't think Mickey Loomis makes that comment unless he expects Drew Brees to retire. I really don't. I think he said that to be gracious to the fans and be like, "Hey, yeah, we're not pushing him out the door."
You're right. It's when you have relatives visiting and you tell them stay as long as you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till they get the hell out.
Yeah, stay. Oh, we love you, and you're here all week. We love it, and you're really, going to your wife, going, "I mean, wasn't 3 nights enough? I mean, how many nights do they need?"
Boy, you sound like somebody who's been there.
I have.
So, boy, I'm tempted to push it even farther, but I won't because that's a door that swings both ways. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
The one thing that continues to make me think he's done is the idea that he dropped his salary from $25 million down to the minimum of $1.075 million with nothing else to make that money back up, which to me was the final nail. Mm-hmm. That's it. He's done. He's giving up $24.925 million, period. It's gone. But now I'm starting to think this is
power
when
play.
He says I'm ready to come back and I'm only making $1.075 million, and look at how low my cap charge is this year. It really makes me wonder, is there some sort of broader back and forth here where he wants them to tell him to go away? And whether he intends to play or not, and maybe he genuinely wants to play, but there's another category here of, for whatever reason, he wants them to tell him to go away. He doesn't want to be the one to go, which makes no sense.
No.
Because he's 41. There's no shame in retiring. It's not like he's quitting on New Orleans. Everyone's expecting it. So I disregard that. I think if this thing goes against what we thought, and it already is against what we thought, or at least what Sean Payton thought. We're almost 4 weeks removed from Payton telling us they're a week or a week and a half away from an announcement. The only logical conclusion becomes he's seriously considering coming back. That's the only logical conclusion. He's never seemed like a guy who needs the attention.
Right.
Is he getting any enjoyment out of the fact that we've spent the first 15 minutes of today's show talking about whether or not Drew Brees is actually retired? With all he's accomplished in his life and all the things he will accomplish going forward, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would be that vain that he would want us to be speculating on whether or not he's going to keep playing. I don't believe that. So all I can believe is he's seriously thinking about playing.
I hear you. I think he's seriously thinking about playing too. And I think there's another aspect that you kind of hit on, or at least it jumps out to me, at least. Stars can lose reality. Stars can lose track of reality. They really can. Again, he is a guy that has overcome tremendous obstacles his whole life, and he's been a star, and he's the man. I mean, he's the man. He really does. I mean, I don't know. We might be working with him next year. I hope he doesn't beat me up when he gets here, okay? But either way, you're like, he might.
He might, and I'll stand and watch. I'll have the popcorn.
Okay,
I don't have your back.
When
it's quarterback versus quarterback, I'm getting the hell out of the way. I saw what he did to that sled.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm gone.
Yep. Yeah, I know. So don't get involved. That's quarterback stuff. But I do think stars can lose sight of reality and where they are as far as the player and where they are at this aspect of this career. Listen, I can go back to Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen. I can remember at the end of his career, he's on the practice, or the ESPN ranked him as the 37th best basketball player in the NBA. And he kind of scoffed at it like it was ridiculous. And me, I'm an NBA watcher. I was like, man, they were kind of being kind by putting you at 37, I thought. I mean, but he didn't think that. He still thought, like, that's crazy. I'm top 20. I'm top 25. And I don't like saying that about Kobe Bryant or anything like that. But I just use that as a reference point to show that, that these guys, they are who they are because they're so stubborn in their brain. And they do believe in their ability to perform and be great and do those things. And within that, you can lose sight of reality of where you actually are as a player. And I think maybe the Saints might have to have that conversation with Drew Brees at some point. I do. I think we're getting to that point where they might have to, at least from my standpoint, keep it real. Last thing I'll say here, or no, that's it for now.
I'm picturing, though? I'm picturing Sean Payton with, his big monitor up and the clicker and just showing him 20 different plays and comparing 5 years ago to now. Same play. Drew, look at how you threw it in 2015. Look at how you threw it last year. Here, let's look at the next one. Look at how you threw it then. Look at how you throw it now.
Right.
Drew, I'm just telling you, it ain't going to get any better if you come back in 2021. You got to ask yourself, is this what you want to do? Is this how you want to go out? Is this how you want to be remembered? I mean, that's a tough conversation.
It's tough.
for Brees and Peyton to have, but is it going to come to that? It may have to come to that.
Well, and to what you just said right there, like, look at this play compared to that play 4 years ago. He'll be able to go, look, I haven't been able to call this play in 4 years. I can't call this play that we called 4 years ago because I don't think it's capable of, being executed at this point of your career. Other thing here, too. And again, it's Drew Brees, legend. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer. I understand that. I never feel proud saying these type of things because, I've been around quarterbacks my whole life. But we saw them win games this year with Taysom Hill. They lost one game with him.
Yes.
Right? Last year they went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is being back relegated to career backup. They're done with him in Carolina. He's not a special starter or anything, and he was able to go 5-0 against some pretty damn good teams that year too. It wasn't like he beat like a bunch of cupcakes. They went up to the Seattle and beat the Seahawks in Seattle. They beat the Bucks. They beat a few other teams. So, there's something to be said there too, just as far as where Drew is at. So I don't know, but I think the Saints and them are Drew, Sean Payton and company are going to have a pretty heart-to-heart conversation here, keep it real and get things figured out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.